Hi everyone. I want to talk about that Netflix documentary called When They See Us. I figured this is perfect timing to discuss some of my thoughts on that. I've been noticing a few of my Facebook friends sharing their thoughts about it and how heart-wrenching and traumatizing the story actually is. So I figured I'd take advantage and share my thoughts with you guys about it. I didn't cry when I watched it last night because I watched the real documentary a few years back. So I've already spiraled over the situation. But I did take quite a few deep breaths during the whole thing last night. And it's a very upsetting story. It's about a murder that took place in 1989 in Central Park. And there were 5 black and brown teenagers that were picked up off the street, and pretty much the entire police department did everything they could to convict these young boys, 14, 15, and 16-year-olds, convict them of murder. None of the timelines added up, but somehow they figured out how to bring them all to trial, and they were all convicted. They all did time as juveniles. The whole thing was just upsetting. They interrogated the minors without their parents. The police took advantage of the fact that the parents weren't very knowledgeable about their rights and how they were not allowed to interrogate them as minors without a parent present in the room. So I do see a lot of progress on my timeline. I think people my age are definitely more aware of those situations. One of my pet peeves is when Hispanics talk down about black people, and they tend to separate themselves from the black plight. Not just Hispanics. I've seen it with Jamaicans. I've seen it with Africans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. I'm Dominican, so I grew up hearing negative things, negative stereotypes about black people. And I remember when I went into high school, I was into alternative rock. My girl was Avril Lavigne. I used to love her songs. So I wanted to make friends of all different groups. I wore Converse. I had like colorful belts, cute. But the white girls that were into that thing, they didn't pay me no mind. I gravitated to black girls, Hispanic girls in high school because I could identify with them better. I grew up as the Hispanic girl with bad hair. Like, that's what I was considered. Oh, pelo malo. Oh, your hair don't get wet when you go under the water. Like, I internalized that as, okay, I have bad hair. So it took a long time to understand I don't have bad hair. Just gotta stop relaxing my hair and embrace my curls. So for me, the hair thing, that's been a whole journey, but I really gravitated to my black and brown girls in high school. I was on the step team. We danced. We had fun. And I specifically remember my mom driving me to school one day and telling me, no te junte con esos negros. And I was like, why? Why not? They're fun. And she was like, no, la, 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 la. They're no good. They're lazy. All those negative stereotypes about black people. And I never really understood it or grasped it. Then I'm engaged now to my high school sweetheart, and he's black. So I try to hide it as long as possible from my mom because I just knew that she wouldn't approve. But when it all came out, my whole family disowned me. They just didn't agree with me dating a black man. Mind you, my grandfather is probably darker than my fiance. So even when I was younger and I was at home, I would look at my mom like, your stories don't add up. Why I got these big old lips? and why my sister got a very wide nose and my hair is very kinky. So, like, what's the big deal? Why are you acting like you're better than them? So, I remember my father-in-law, when I was about 18, when I left home, he would tell me, like, you know you're black, right? And I'd be like, me? You know, because I had that learned behavior in my head, like, we're not black. We're not black, we're Dominican. Okay, girl, but you're dark. The stories don't match up. You're not making sense. So that's when he would tell me, like, you know, you guys were just a stop on the way here. Like, it's very realistic that your ancestors could have ended up here and you would call yourself an African American. So the whole, like, separating yourself from the black plight and all of the black struggles that take place, it just doesn't make sense to me, because at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan to white people, you are the lowest on the totem pole. It doesn't matter. They'll group us together and that's it. So because I see a lot of progress with my friends, and I think we're doing better as parents, and pushing our beliefs onto our children. Like, for example, I want my daughter to be proud of herself and proud of her people, and believe and know that she's brilliant, she's smart, she is qualified, and she can tackle whatever is placed in front of her. So I think what you should take away from this really is just, don't fall in the trap of believing that someone else has the best interest of your child other than yourself. You, as the parent, have the power to push your child to where they want to be and be successful. So whether you need to dig up some information on how to do that so that you don't fall victim to racist institutions such as education and healthcare. Oh, I can go on and on, but those topics I'll leave for another video. But it's very important to keep in mind that they don't have your best interest in mind, okay? Maybe they are aware of how capable we are and it's threatening. So it's just something that you always have to keep in mind, because the minute they get a chance to knock you down, they will try to. So as professionals, we got to keep our head high and push for what we believe in, and know your worth as a Black and Hispanic professional, and push for those wages and ask for what you need to ask for at work. It's very important. This is why I'm doing this. So I want to thank you for listening, because my purpose is to speak to everyone about whatever it takes to make us better as a society, as a community. You know, I love my Black and brown people, so I gotta keep pushing you guys to do better. And part of that is having these difficult topics about race and relations. Because the truth of the matter is, although that Central Park 5 incident happened 20-something years ago, or plus, 30 plus years ago, stuff like that goes on today. Today, they're locking up our children, okay? They're going from school, they're kicking them out, expelling them. They're creating a record for them. As soon as they turn 18, if they're not in school, they're hanging out around. If they're not in college, if they're hanging around on the corner or whatever it may be, walking down the street, they'll find a reason to lock them up. The school to prison pipeline is called. So it starts in school. It starts in school. They start reprimanding your children. They start suspending them. There's harsher rules for our children. They get medicated. They get told they're too unruly. They don't listen. They have ADD. They try to push medication on our children. We have to vouch for them. There's nothing wrong with a child being energetic, talkative. That's how they're supposed to be. Don't allow them to tone down the light in your child. That light is there for a reason, and they're supposed to let it shine as bright as possible and not try to dim it. So I hope you take a few nuggets from this video and you know, just some knowledge to kind of arm yourself about the welfare of our children. And we have to start talking in front of our children about each other in a way that uplifts us. So, you know, my fiance and I don't talk negatively about Black and brown people, because I want her to love her people. So when she hears us talking, she hears us talking about, oh, wow, look at her hair, how beautiful it is. Wow, she's very smart. Wow, he's a scientist. Yes, you know, push for education, push for learning, push for money saving, all of that, because all we need is the knowledge and the power, and take action. Take action, and one by one we can start supporting each other and pushing each other to higher levels. So that's really the point of this video. But I want you guys to keep pushing and break down those barriers and those stereotypes, because they're not gonna hold us down any longer. I worked a full 8-hour day. Would you believe it? I came home and showered, so my hair is like this, and I took the time to make this video, because this is my thing, okay? I'll also tell you, I've been walking through the halls at my job, and they have these portraits on the walls, and I just keep, in a minute, I'm about to call the boss or somebody and be like, my ancestors have been triggered by all of these pictures. Black people are doing manual labor, and the white people are frolicking in fields of flowers. I'm triggered. So what's up? Take these down, because I can't. Alright guys, thank you for watching my crazy videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.